You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ RichieSkye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Happy Saturday, y'all. Okay, we back in the building. All right, so a couple of things real quick. For those of you guys that, like, when you first started wearing glasses, did you ever feel like dizzy when you put your glasses on? Just like, I don't know what's going on. I'd be feeling like crazy when I put my glasses on at first. Anyway, this ain't about me, okay? This is about the tea, okay? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Also, I gotta let y'all know, I went to go see Kempire After Dark, the villain era. If you have not gone to see Kempire live, definitely do so. I believe he will be in New York next on the 12th of September. If you guys can make that, definitely make your way there. And I believe he may be having Brooke Ashley with him. Here he had Taria Faison, my homegirl from the What Else Is Going On podcast. They put on an amazing, amazing show. Thank you so much for welcoming me. And thank you to everybody last night that, approached me, came up and said that you watched the channel. I really, really appreciate it. And I was just glad to be in the building to support. I think that's what it's all about, especially in this content creator space. I think it's super important to support one another because it's not always easy to do what we do, And to have you guys support like that means the world to all of us. All right. So with that being said, let's dive on in. So there was actually a question last night. A lot of people were wondering if Shamea was going to be returning. And I've seen you guys ask that same question as well to Atlanta Housewives. We kind of figured that she would be returning, but I think we've gotten our first taste of Shamea officially with the rest of the cast. So let's take a look at what we have. Shout out to the Bravo Shade Room. And so here you can see Kelly at her grand opening of her new location for Nana's Chicken and Waffles. Now, I want to shout out the Bravo Shade Room, but I also want to shout out Real Housewives of Atlanta Talk on Twitter as well, okay? So we're going to go through just like a couple of little photos and videos just to kind of give you guys a glimpse at what's going on. You see there Kelly with the ribbon cutting with her daughters, and she looks good in that red. I like Kelly when she looks a little bit more like when the look is very kind of simple. I think that works really, really well for her. I think she looks very I like this look. I like it a lot. Okay, so here we go. Now, we have Shamea is officially back, or at least for now, right? Because listen, you never really know until the season airs what they're going to do, but I would wager to believe that this is our indication that Shamea is back full time. So that question, I think, has now been answered for us. I also heard that they had their first all-cast event. So we'll have to see how that shook out. But again, this is early in the season. We have no real knowledge of story or anything like that. But I will tell you that this interaction was very interesting. I'm gonna have you watch a couple of things again. First of all, as someone commented, Phaedra makes about 10 faces in this one little clip. But there's also an interesting interaction between Shamea and Drew, which I'm not surprised by. It looks as though Shamea is about to try to wrap her arm around Drew for the photo and then sort of realizes maybe that's not a good idea and puts her hand down while Drew kind of basically ignores her. But Angela pops up on Shamea's other side and she does drape her hand around Angela's waist. So this should be very interesting. And of course, we also see, as the Bravo Shade Room pointed out, Pinky Cole from the Slutty Vegan at this event as well, along with Cynthia Bailey. So I would relatively assume that Cynthia Bailey will be back in the super friend capacity this season. All right. So I also kind of just want to know, where is Phaedra going? Like, Phaedra, as someone says in the comments, looks like she's going to Studio 54, baby. Everybody does kind of look, for the most part, a little similar, but they could be going to several different events, Cynthia does what she does, and you never know where she might be. I wondered, where does Cynthia film that Humble Brag show from? Do they film that in LA? Because Crystal is in LA. So Cynthia, Cynthia's probably the bi-coastal. Yeah, she probably the bi-coastal. And so that could explain a little bit how she's able to be here, there, and everywhere. I also wanted to point out this post on Atlanta_Housewives. You can see a little bit more here. I think some of this footage was also from an a TikTok page as well. Sunny Faces HY. Okay, I wanted to shout that person out as well, because obviously we want to tell people, where to go to get the tea. Everybody's looking pretty good here. Yes, come on, Drew, give us interview. Yes. And here we have Shamea featured with Pinky Cole. So I wonder if this will be Pinky's sort of intro to the Housewives world. Will that be through Shamea? So many questions, man. Like, I love the speculation of it all. I'm happy that our girls are back filming. Here we got Studio 54 and wearing a white dress. Where is Phaedra going? Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for all types of carrying on. So that's a look, right, at what we got for season 17. I thought it was kind of cool to talk about, because back in the day when I first started this channel, we used to kind of like review little stuff like this all the time. So I kind of do want to get back to that, because it does add to the fun element of speculation. And listen, we're not talking anything about storyline as of yet, right? And if we were, I would give you the spoiler warning. Okay, so some of you guys will be upset. Why are they giving us so much info and we don't want to know until the season airs next year? Oh my God, I'm so upset. I'm upset at the world. I'm mad at everything. I'm so mad about life in general. I can't stand coming online. Calm down. Okay, calm it on down. Speaking of calming down, the beef between Evelyn and OG, I don't think it's ever going to calm down. So here's the thing. I don't know if you guys happen to catch this. Shout out to the Juicy Reel. Okay, make sure you guys like the post. Go on Instagram and follow them. They're bringing us the tea as well. And Evelyn did an interview. So let's take a look at that. She admitted, and I think that was that interview with the Shade Room. It might have been with the Shade Room. I'll find out. But she did an interview, okay? And she admits that she was physically scared of OG, because OG has the football player in her. You know what I'm saying? So Evelyn knows that if they got the tussling, that OG might have tackled her down to the ground. I mean, we saw what happened when they was in, what were they at? Were they in Costa Rica? Side note, I've been getting not a lot. Okay, let me just be 100% clear. I've gotten some requests to go to not to Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, for a group trip. So y'all let me know if that's what y'all want to do. I had tried to. I had thought about just not doing any more group trips in 2026, because your boy is tired. But we might still do it. So y'all let a brother know what y'all want. And so OG then reposted the clip. She says, "Nobody, them." Now, to be fair, in this interview, Evelyn was asked, was she afraid of the OG? And she does answer the question, but she does so with a bit of a kind of a chuckle. You know what I'm saying? Um, as you can see the reaction here, she's reacting to what happened when they were on the trip and how she went tumbling down into the tumbleweeds. So, she's having a good laugh over it. It's interesting to me. Um, how do you guys feel about this whole situation with some distance in between all of us? Well, distance meaning like a couple of years, right? How do you guys still view this situation with Evelyn and OG the same? It looks as though Evelyn is a little bit at least able to laugh at herself about it, and she was asked the question. So she did answer the question. So it wasn't like she just popped up and talked about it. Although I don't know if you guys watch her podcast, Drop It on the Low Low, okay? But on her podcast, she does talk about being a victim of colorism. Yeah. Yeah, Evelyn. Evelyn too has experienced the colorism. Did you know? So there's a clip that's making its rounds now. I believe I saw it on Urban Bell Mag. So I'll tag them in the description of the video so you guys can go and see it for yourself. But there's a conversation that she's having with her mother on the podcast. And she relays that, her mother's mother, so her grandmother, um, she felt like there was a bit of some colorism going on because she had a darker complexion, I guess, in comparison to maybe one of her cousins. And so she felt like she was treated differently as a result of that. And I was just like, oh, wow. Like, it's interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the documentary. It's not a documentary. It's kind of a movie that's based on a book. It's by Ava DuVernay, and it's called Origins. And I'm going to get a little deep for a second. But when we talk about um, the impact of colorism, and I try to always think about like historically, what is the historical context? So I think back to, just a lot about, okay, the segregation of the way slaves were treated back in the day, how you would have some who were out in the fields and some who were in the house. What dynamic did that play on us now as a generation, like generations removed from that? How has that impacted us? But then I also go back to if you ever see that movie Origins, which I highly suggest you watch, especially if you are someone who is really interested or has been affected by colorism in general, or just a person, to be honest with you. I think everybody should see this movie. But they really break down the historical context of colorism in regards to racism and how it all is a trickle down effect from classism. And I just thought it was such a good watch. So that is my recommendation for you. Just to kind of get some education. I think that that's a good reference point for some people to start when they really want to dive into this topic because it's such a revelation to me. Like, I mean, just when you really, I mean, because it crosses, it extends beyond just the African American experience, the Black experience, but it really dives into a global experience of what that looks like, right? Side note, okay. I know we didn't got off topic, but who cares? So yesterday, I also got into the Jerry Springer documentary on Netflix. Have y'all seen that? It is so good. If you have not seen it, definitely go back and watch. They chronicle the show and how it started in the beginning, and they thought it was boring, and then they brought in the new executive producer, and then he changed the game, and they had all the people on there fighting and stuff like that. And I remember back in the day watching Jerry Springer, and I would be like, "What is this?" But I could not miss an episode. And I think about it now, and I'm like, "Ooh, why was I watching that?" Like, I mean, because I don't want to watch that now. But I also think the times that we live in, I don't want to see that. I don't. It's triggering. So y'all let me know if y'all have watched that documentary as well. I do enjoy a good documentary on Netflix. So if y'all have some other recommendations, drop them in the comments. Drop them in the comments, and I'll see if I could tackle them. But it's a very good documentary. It's not that long, so you can definitely watch it in the evening and afternoon, midnight in the morning. Okay, and you'll be good to go. With that being said, I gave y'all more than I was trying to give y'all today because that's me. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. But listen, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. And y'all listen. If you have happened to read book 2 of the series, go and leave a review on the Amazon while I'm finishing book 3. Okay, leave a review. Let me know who you like the most, who you like the least, who did it. Okay, who did the things. Okay, if you know, you know. Um, yeah, and I really want to know who you are loving from this book, because that will determine who I continue to write about after book 3. Okay, so I need to know that information, or you can also drop them in the comments. But the Amazon reviews do help. And I'll likely start trying to put my books on another platform as well, because I know some people have their reservations about Amazon. So I want to make sure that I can reach as many people as possible. So that's all that. Also, to all my people out there, like my that's been called this week. I gotta call everybody back. I didn't. It's been a crazy week. Okay. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.